Hello.
Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm not too bad, not too bad.
I'm so excited. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for choosing me. So let's get started. Can I get your date of birth, please?
Yes, it's 29th of September, 1970.
70. What time?
6:10.
In the morning?
Yes, sorry.
And where?
In Smolyan, Bulgaria.
Once again, sorry?
Smolyan,
How do you spell that?
Smolyan. Smolyan.
It doesn't come up.
Smolyan, or maybe it's with, instead of Y, try I.
S-M-O...
No. Yes, SMOLY.
I, instead of
I or Y. Yeah.
with Y, it's not coming up. I,
Yeah. Smolyan, Bulgaria.
that's not coming up either.
Oh,
Hold on. Is there a small town?
it is a relatively small town, but you can try Plovdiv.
Plovdiv, yeah, that's gonna come up here.
Yeah. It's more or less.
Plovdiv. Yeah, got that. Great. So what has been happening in your life?
Okay. Well, I don't know if you got my questions there when I sent the payment, or you probably haven't got them.
There is no question on that. I checked.
Oh, well, I sent 3 questions, but whatever we can
Didn't come through them.
it's going to be fine. So yes, the one question, the first question, Victor, is I'm in a relationship with a guy who is 8 years older than me. Obviously, that started when, you know, my Saturn is in Aquarius. So obviously that's, I don't know. So I wanted to see whether we've started, he's been in a very dramatic and difficult relationship. So have I. He just finished his marriage of 30 years and he's in a process of a very bitter divorce.
Okay.
And I just came up, not just, but I've been in my last relationship was very devastating. It was very difficult for me. I was in a relationship with a pure narcissist, and it left me in a very big depression. For about two years, I was on antidepressants, and I was very highly suicidal. That was between 2016 and 2018. And I started doing therapy, and I started taking a very hard look at myself, and decided to make it like my profession. I will start university in September, with God will, to study counseling and psychotherapy. Anyway, so we are both quite keen on this relationship, me and my partner. We are both in therapy, and we are also in couples therapy, because we decided, because as we are coming out from such difficult, both of us coming out of such difficult relationships, we both decided that it's good to, we will not make it on our own. We will need some help, because we come with our luggage. So, but very often, this relationship started in 2020, the beginning of the year, and in January, actually.
Yeah, Saturn, Jupiter activated for you.
Yeah.
So we want to know, how is this relationship gonna go?
Yes, please. I know it's not, I haven't paid for your in-depth relationship report. I don't know if you do that as a question.
No, you've got an hour, so whatever you want to use it for, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, well, interestingly enough, I've got a late chart for this question. So usually late charts in in a relationship kind of indicates a karmic togetherness to start with. What's very interesting is that both of you are very interested in kind of building a social status and building a family together. Now, it doesn't mean that we want to have children or we want to be, we just maybe living together or sharing something together or, eventually buying a property together. So I kind of like that you guys have got something, a common goal. That's exciting. Now, what I see from his side, yes, I can see that he's overly into you on an emotional level. He is pretty much liking your physical well-being as well. So there is definitely a very strong connection from his side. Now, when I look at you, you also have got connections towards him, but interestingly enough, not that the chart doesn't show as strongly as from his side. I mean, he comes up here as 130% liking you, which is, let's call it love. From your side, it comes up as a 70% strength, which is not too bad in a relationship, don't get me wrong, but there is a little bit of a gap there. So it kind of can indicate to me as well that he needs a lot more than you need him. But overall, there is a beautiful likings between the two of you, which is actually exciting. So that could indicate to me that this relationship actually can go far. However, there is some bothering factor coming up here as well, because both of you kind of comes up here as two-faced, but this two-faced energy is not necessarily we are lying to each other, just like two personalities, if that makes sense. And the other side of both of you is kind of neutral towards each other. So this could actually indicate that we both have got something going in our life which we have to deal with, maybe our inner demons, maybe the previous marriage, as you mentioned. Actually, by the way, you are also, your second side is actually the same planet like his ex-wife. So the question here is that how much does it bother you that somehow she's still in the picture? Does it hold you back to actually, express your emotions towards him? Is that the reason why, he is a little bit more into you than you are into him, and so forth? So what do you think of that?
Yeah, well, I think sometimes he kind of really projects me and thinks of me as, sometimes his reactions towards me are very much as I can see them as he was to his wife. So
Yeah,
some kind of projection on me, and he's not aware that he's doing it, and so I have to tell him, look, you're talking to me as you're talking to her.
yeah,
And and it really pains me, it's really painful for me, but I know that sometimes I do talk to him as he's my ex-partner.
yeah.
And this is something we are really working towards not to happen. But yeah, so I don't know, his wife is still very much in the picture. Unfortunately, she's kind of really had a kind of really bad impact on
The good news here is that both of them hate each other.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
I mean, they are the furthest point from each other. So that clearly shows that they don't want to talk to each other, or they hate each other, or they would just hurt each other at any point.
Yeah.
So I don't think she would be disturbing that much, I mean, in the relationship, but I can see for somehow the ex-wife comes up here extremely strong. So either she's very stubborn, she's very, maybe she wants to hold on to a business, or she wants to hold on to a property, one of those two, but some type of common belongings. Actually, the two of them are going to be fighting as well in the next. Oh, that's not the peak yet. Unfortunately, the peak is coming.
Really?
Yeah.
Because on the 22nd of July, they have a first hearing in High Court. They couldn't do it mediation. So there is a hearing now in court because they're fighting a lot about a lot of money, and she's not backing up
Yeah,
trying to
she's not
do.
gonna back down at all, and
No.
she keeps gonna go.
Yeah.
And the peak of that fight is still coming.
Oh my God. Really?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. And you know, that's a little bit of an issue I'm having with this gentleman, that I think he needs plenty of emotional support. But when I look at you emotionally, you don't seem to be in the strongest state. So what we don't want in this relationship is just to become a pillar to each other, and kind of like a fortitude, someone I can, you know, lean onto, and eventually the emotions are going to somehow, you know, just disappear. But I do see a strong connection here. I think this relationship can have a future. But I do see that the ex-wife is really holding on to, as I said, either property or some business related matters, but she is not going to back down. She is going to cause further frustrations.
Is she going to try to come in between us through her kids or something? Because I'm yet to meet his kids.
I don't see so much of a potential of that. Hold on, Saturn is on 18 Taurus, 18 Scorpio. Well, Uranus is playing up here. Yeah, she's gonna cause some chaos there. Approximately in 4 days, 4 weeks time, especially. So the peaks are coming here. It's really depend, you know, it really depends on you how much you can take, because I kind of see that the two of you, well, it shows here that approximately about 4 months ago, you guys started somehow a little bit pulling apart.
Yes.
There is a conjunction here between the two of you, which is actually brilliant. Just it started pulling apart. And that's a little bit of an issue I'm having here, you know,
Yeah.
that there is a little bit of work to be done on this relationship, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just wondering, how will you be able to take the heat when these two are going to be kind of fighting a lot? I mean, if you are ready to kind of, you know, if you are ready to be dealing with all these kind of drama, what is going to be happening around them, I think this relationship has got a future. But I can see that she can basically play a wedge in this relationship big time.
Wow.
Which is, you know, it's not necessarily that she's going to attack you directly, but the amount of maybe arguments, trouble, or discord between them two is just kind of going to get projected onto the relationship. Once I think all this situation kind of closes or goes away, let's put it that way, then I think you guys will have a chance to start developing on this relationship. But another thing which I see here is that you come up here a lot stronger than your partner. So he seems to be kind of popping up here as falling apart.
Yeah.
So I think he will be on the verge of giving up plenty of things just to kind of get rid of her.
He's, as I said, he's really so fed up. He wants closure. You know, she left him out without, you know, without house, without his just renting, and he's really dealing with a lot at the moment. He's selling also his business, and she's being so difficult and so hateful, so hateful. I've never seen such a hatred in a human being.
Yeah, they come up here with a very strong opposition. So my needs versus, and unfortunately, the ex-wife looks stronger as well than your partner.
Yeah.
I think what gives him strength is actually you.
It's true. He does say
kind of sucks the energy out of you as well. So that's the only little issue I'm having here, that, and you know, I don't want to say that he's using you, because I don't think that's his motivation to use you. But you know, I think it's very handy for him to have someone around who is emotionally supporting him.
Yeah, Well, I'm happy to give him this emotional support, but yes, I have to say the drama is very draining, because the drama is ever since day one, that since the day we met, has been a lot of drama with
Yeah,
him and his kids. They're in the mix of this hatred, and I don't understand, because I've got a loving relationship with my daughter, and no matter with my ex-husband, you know, I try to make her not to be involved in any way, no matter, you know, I make an amicable end with my ex-husband, not at yet ex, but hopefully soon will be ex. We separated 10 years ago.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just don't understand this kind of hatred. It's so palpable, it's so strong. I don't understand it, but people are different, so.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as I said, both of them puts each other down. So, which means that kind of it's like no one is gonna win in this situation, or the needs are not gonna get fully satisfied. And I think that's gonna cause the discord here. So let's say if they are fighting for money, let's say one wants to get 80%, the other one 20, eventually it's gonna be 50-50 anyway. So there is going to be an element of a dissatisfaction there in some ways, how the decision is going to get made. And that's why I think she's not going to give up. Maybe she's going to appeal. Maybe she's going to keep bringing up situations. But she comes up here as very, very stubborn. And she comes up here as someone who is ready to take action no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. She will stop at nothing.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
so hateful of him. But if you say that eventually they will get 50-50, that's a good thing, because she's very unreasonable. She wants power.
Well, what I'm saying is that, you know, it's not necessarily 50-50, but it looks to me that no one is going to be the winner here. So everyone gets a little bit, but not as much as they wanted or expected or they counted on. So both of them seems to be somehow left dissatisfied with some of the decisions, basically.
So do you think this relationship has quite, do you think it has quite a potential? We both want one day, if, because I'm very much involved in psychotherapy, and he's also involved in this kind of, he likes spiritual work, and he likes to, we kind of eventually hope to open our own retreat somewhere and work together on workshops and bettering the internal self.
What's good is that there is enough likings between the two of you to kind of survive this. Right. You know, there is enough strength overall. By the way, I do see that, I do believe that the relationship within about 7-8 months time, it can start growing. Both spiritually and both on a physical level as well.
Wow.
So probably this is going to still last somehow 7-8 months between them two. And I think that's going to be the moment when you guys can start improving and build on the relationship as well. Okay. Definitely there is, I mean, the relationship planet currently is in Scorpio for a very long time. It's going to be there for a very long time. And it is very much talking about just cleansing out the inner demons and not necessarily creating walls and trust issues and kind of comparing each other to the previous relationships we had. So there's going to be something which is actually very important to grow in this relationship. Hopefully that 7-8 month mark is actually showing here that this is going to be the period of time when you guys can overcome these. Or at least you guys can have a breakthrough there. So, but I see some potentials of growth. And I do believe that eventually, maybe 7-8 month time, the best course of action is if you guys go on a holiday and kind of start building some new experiences with each other, which is kind of makes you forget all the drama what you had, and then you can focus on the intimacy part of the relationship. Now, I'm not just necessarily referring to sex, but when I'm when I'm ready to share my deepest fears and desires with the partner, and you know, basically building on that relationship very strongly.
Right. So you said that in 7-8 months you would ask, it would be good for us to go on a holiday or probably retreat or something like that.
Yeah, something like that, a retreat or a holiday, or starting a project together, or maybe it's just that we're gonna buy a pet, a dog together, you know, something which is actually common and a little bit has got a grace, and you know, something which we created together.
Well,
Kind
he's
of
supposed
feeling.
to, sorry, Victor, he's supposed to buy a house, and he's looking for a house now because she threw him out of the house, and I don't think she will let him stay there. I don't know who is going to take the house, but he's looking for a house. So would you advise, at the moment I'm living separately from him, but I can see that he's very much wants me to, at some point, to move in with him, which I'm really afraid of.
Well, as I said, both of you are very interested in that home environment. So that was the first thing which I really popped up for me here. So I think both of you actually want to live together. And it has started coming up about 3-4 months ago as a topic. But to be frank, I would say that maybe it's worth waiting a little bit.
How much? Because I'm quite independent at the moment.
I think it's worth waiting. Hold on. Well, you know what? When I really see you move, it's actually in 1.5 years' time.
Right.
Or at least that's when I see something around family, property matters, but that could really bring actually a move. I can imagine that in 1.5, a little bit more than 1.5 years time, you might consider, okay, let's sell the property. You might be moving there earlier, but you're gonna keep your property just in case type of thing as a, you know, as a backup plan. I can imagine actually around around Christmas, or just a little bit after Christmas, that that you guys might make the decision of moving together.
I tell you what happens, Victor, because as I said, I don't know, as I said, he's quite wealthy. I'm not, but I'm really not wealthy at all. I'm actually struggling to make ends meet, and probably will see it in my chart. He actually bought the apartment I'm in at the moment, so I'm his tenant. Because a few months ago, not a few months ago, about half a year ago, my landlord decided to sell, and he said, okay, I've got the money, I'll buy it for you. It's a tiny apartment, it's not a big deal, but still for UK, you know, it's quite expensive.
Yeah.
He said, I'll buy it so you can stay there, and I don't, you know, you can stay there with your daughter, and you can, you know, you don't have to worry about it, and you will just continue paying the rent to me, and that's it. With the thought that one day I'll be able to buy it from him.
Mm-hmm. No, that's kind of possible, you know. I do see just a little bit more than 1.5 years. So about 20 months time, I do see either a move or property related matters, but that's going to start becoming more important for you.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because he wants to move in, but at the same time we both agree that I will have to keep, if I buy this property from him, I will keep it and rent it or something like that. If so, I have this little bit of independence still.
Yeah, which I think is a good idea.
Yeah, if something happens between us, I will always have somewhere to go back. But the trouble is, I'm so strained financially. I don't know if I will ever be able to afford buy this place.
Maybe it's going to be a common investment from both sides, you know. But anyway, some changes around home environments about 20 months time is coming up very strongly.
Right. Okay. Okay. Anything else you would advise me for this relationship? I should be careful for, and do you think he's the type to cheat on me or something? I'm really worried about that because of my previous experiences, but
I don't see currently any interest in others whatsoever.
oh wow.
So I don't think it's something you need to be afraid of. None of his personality pops up here as being interested in yeah, in any other women.
Wow, this is great. This is great. Okay. Wow, thank you so much. This is incredible. The other thing I wanted to ask you, Victor, is about I've tried so many times to start higher education. In the previous years, I started when I was 40 university, and it didn't work out because in Bulgaria, because I had to come back here. My ex-husband did not support us financially at all, so I had to quickly find a place to make money, and I came here with my daughter. So before I left, I enrolled in university and did 2 years there in Bulgaria, but then I had to stop and come here. And now I've decided to go for, again, took a loan from the government, and I'm starting in September a degree in psychotherapy, counseling and psychotherapy. So it seems to me, with all the astrologers I've worked before, it strikes me like is at all higher education, I think is very afflicted in my chart. But I so much like to learn, and I'm such an avid learner. I push myself all the time. I read all the time, and I, especially now for counseling and psychotherapy, it's such a big theme for me.
I think higher education is actually very important to you, or it should be.
Absolutely.
Because your higher education planet is Mercury, which is conjunct in Mars and Moon. Now, Moon is your career planet. So a higher education kind of is needed to your career if you want to achieve something.
Yes.
To start with. Mars rules here your consultancy. So if you want to be consulting others, kind of like giving advice, and it can be spiritual advice and so forth, it kind of shows to me that it's also something which is very important. So yes, I kind of urge you to maybe sit behind the, you know, the university desk and then basically, you know, study. Now, there is no better time than basically now when you had all these eclipses happening in your 9th house, which is the house of higher education.
Yeah.
So I think actually this could be a good period of time to, yeah, to invest a little bit into your spirituality, into your learning and stuff like that. Because this is gonna be something which eventually gonna help you to achieve something in the career department.
Yes.
You know, some people just don't need the higher education to kind of make something out of their life. But it looks to me that when it comes to you, it's actually very important.
It is, you know, I would like to, ideally, because I was helped when I was in such a difficult, you know, depressed and everything, and I couldn't afford much therapy. So, you know, I started reading instead, and I started listen to a lot of psychotherapists online and on YouTube even, together with watching a lot of astrology, which made me kind of understand myself much better, which is all about is to understand yourself better, right? Even psychotherapy and astrology, I think they're quite good in that respect.
Yeah. I just want to kind of remind you that, you've got Chiron in the 7th house on 8 degree, and Chiron just went retrograde recently, and it's going to come back to your natal Chiron. So be ready that the emotional cleansing around relationship topic is very, very heightened, and it can really go 2 ways. I mean, either we're gonna, by the way, it's gonna peak in January for you. So Chiron is on 12 degree at the moment, and it's gonna go back to 8 degree somewhere in January, and then it's gonna station on your natal Chiron. So you might feel in January, February time that things are just slowing down in the relationship department, or you become a little bit depressed over this, and so forth. So you need to build strength if you want this relationship to go further. And then you have to put all your fears aside, and it's all about survival instinct as well, because at the end of the day, this is Aries, right? So that's all about my primary needs. And when Chiron is there, it could indicate that my primary needs are not met by the partnership, right? So you might notice things like, I don't know, he's on a business trip, and he's not spending as much time with me as I want him to. Or you might feel that he's a little bit quiet, or he's got secrets. However, I don't think he would cheat on you. So that's not what I'm seeing here. Just maybe some bits and bobs, which you're going to see that he got stuck when it comes to, going for therapy, and then keeps repeating the same things, and then doesn't want to go deeper.
Yes.
So these
So
type
true.
of things I kind of see here as, which can bother you. And Chiron, January, gonna be opposing your Uranus as well. So I feel like December, January, February is a very pivotal time in this relationship, though. And if you guys can survive those 3 months, I think you can start growing significantly. But till February, I would say I see challenges there.
Wow. You think it will actually survive? You can't say that.
I can't tell you that. It really depends on you. Chiron is something which is either I just turn inwards and I become depressed, and with the Uranus, I just break up because I can't take the heat anymore. Or Chiron becomes the healer, and then eventually I'm going to start healing my wounds and my partner's wounds as well, because I collect enough strength to actually keep going. So, yeah, so as I mentioned, I kind of see that the 2 of you are walking. I kind of see that you are walking ahead, and then he's slowly walking behind you. But if he doesn't speed up a little bit, he's not going to be able to catch you. And that's a little problem I'm having here. And as I said, there is that second side to both of you as well, which are not that extremely in love. So imagine that 50% of me is fully in love with you, but the other half is just, lingering around.
Is it for both of us or
And
me?
it's from both of you, actually, yes. So there is plenty to learn in this relationship. Plenty.
Yeah.
So December, January, February, I think it's a very pivotal month in that relationship. So yeah, maybe let's say December, because he decides that, listen, I need to spend Christmas with the kids, right? And maybe it's not a good idea if you go around, because it might cause even further problems. Or maybe the second hearing or the final hearing is going to be around that time, and it's just going to be full of tension. But, I kind of see that as a peak, which you guys gonna have to survive, basically. That's the whole idea here.
Well, the thing is, when he's away, we have a real difficulties when he's away, because he doesn't communicate with me, and I feel really rejected. And as if when I'm here, he's very good at communicating when he's here. But when he goes away, it's a nightmare. And really, that I tried to break up the relationship quite a few times because of this. I couldn't take it, because it's kind of very inconsistent. His attention is very, very inconsistent, and I need some somebody that basically is there for me all the time, not one day here and one. He's sometimes very overly all over me, and then he just withdraws.
Yeah.
And I see, because this was the dynamic with my ex-boyfriend as well, that really devastated me. So I'm really worried when I see this kind of behavior.
But you know, worrying way too much, and that's going to be one of the downfall of any of your relationships, because the ruler of your 7th house is actually in the 12th in Virgo. So Virgo is the most worried sign of all, and the 12th house is the subconscious fear, which is full about.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you disappeared you went in a tunnel.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
No, I just plugged in the laptop on charger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your relationship planet is in Virgo, which tends to worry a lot. And it's in the 12th house as well, which is the subconscious fears and the inner monsters. So, you know, I kind of say that you need to look into the mirror yourself, and he does need to look into the mirror as well, because I kind of feel like there is way too much projection going on from both sides onto the other.
Yes.
And it's like probably both of you are holding back. Both of you are trying to control the emotions. Both of you are trying to put blames on others. Oh, that's why, you know, and stuff like that. But I think both of you really need to look into the mirror and then see that, you know, okay, this is my fault. That's your fault. How are we going to fix it? And if you guys can't find that, and I think you guys can, because there is a trine from Saturn, and the Saturn is the planet of maturation and the planet of commitment, and you know, the time, it heals within time. So I think you guys can do that, but there needs to be integrity here, basically, where, yeah, basically we're not going to be we're not going to look at this as a power struggle. We're just going to look at it as a, okay, we are both somehow depleted, or you know, we both have got issues. And then are we going to work on that or not?
What I see in him, Victor, is that I work very intensely on myself, and I actually did come to a conclusion that there is, yes, I can see a lot, I project a lot on him, but then quite recently I came to the conclusion that a lot of the things I bring myself into the relationship, and actually I have to look very deeply inside of myself and be aware that I'm self-sabotaging my relationships. And it's not going to be only with him. Even if I leave him, it's going to be with everyone that comes later. So
exactly.
I'm really conscious about it, and I'm going to work relentlessly. You know, I really work hard. And I kind of try to put always 120% in whatever I'm doing. However, he doesn't like to put 120% in whatever he's doing. Let's say he's a little bit overweight, but let's say he will not commit to a fitness plan. And let's say he's got a personal trainer, but out of 1 hour training, they will talk like 20 minutes. So he basically does only 40 minutes kind of ish training. So he likes to say, I don't like to put 100%. I like to put about 75% is quite all right. So I think this theme for him is important, that he doesn't really like to invest. And especially if we dig for our relationship, if we dig in very, very, I see resistance in him to dig deep into himself, and to dig deep of actually into his feelings, to face a lot of things. It's not like me. I will go through the pain, because I think that's the only way. You have to go through the pain.
Yes, but you know, also pay attention to your relationship planet being in the 12th house. You can become obsessed with too much work on yourself too. So sometimes there needs to be able to go with the flow and experiencing, you know, we don't need to be prepared for everything, whatever life throws at us, because that's how you're going to be kind of testing You know, what if a sudden situation comes in and then you are not prepared for it? That Ma is going to become depressed because I didn't count with that. You know, so sometimes I think a healthy balance here of going with the flow and being prepared as well is very important. So I feel like that the relationship planner there is talking about spontaneity. So, you know, okay, tomorrow we meet, and then if we have got a certain idea of going for an ice cream, let's go. If we have got a certain idea to travel to Alaska for the weekend, then let's go. Let's pack the bags. But I feel like it's about creating experiences within the relationship, knowing that, you know, we can tackle any unexpected situations.
Okay. Okay, I'll have that in mind. So yeah, on the degree front, do you think I will be able to actually this time complete and get a degree?
So have you started it yet?
No, I'm starting it in September, but I've applied.
Starting it in September.
Yeah, I've applied and I'm accepted into my university. I've took the loan. I took a big loan. Basically, yeah, I would like to, because at the moment I work as a cleaner, but you know, if I start being a psychotherapist, I'll be able to work, you know, to pay better money, hopefully. But that's not why I'm going there. I'm going there because it's way more rewarding.
Of course. With the Libra rising sign, you don't need to be a cleaner. You need to be a kind of a therapist, a mediator. Okay, so if you're going to be able to finish the university, first of all, why do you think you would not be able to finish?
I don't know, because you know, I've never managed to do. I started after I graduated from high school. I started a college, which I didn't finish. I went on working instead. I started it, then I couldn't finish it, and then I went and worked on ships for a very long time. I was a singer and a cruise director for a very long time and spent about 12, 15 years. Very glamorous life, and you know, traveling all over the world. And
yeah,
you know, you probably can see it in my chart, but now I'm cleaning my karma. So
well, the good news is that the university doesn't harm you. The bad news is that I don't see you being so keen on the university. So that's a little bit of a problem I'm having.
wow.
However, there is an aspect, so Saturn. How is there a 3-year course?
So I start now a 2-year foundation with an option to make the degree. The degree course is 1 year subsequent to this 2 years.
So 3 years basically.
Basically 3 years, but it's separate courses.
Okay. So the reason why I asked about the 3 year is because I see between the finish of the study and you meeting in 3 years time. So a little bit less than 3 years, but I think it's going to take longer because the finishing comes up as in retrograde planets. So that would show actually a longer period of time, either because you're going to be late with your diploma work, or you're going to postpone a couple of months here and there. But I think you can finish this actually. Yeah, you can finish this, but maybe it's going to take a little bit longer than you expect.
Maybe because I need to make a placement to go to a placement actually in practice before I get the diploma. So
yeah, that could be also something why it gets a little bit challenged, but I think you can finish, but with challenges.
Oh dear.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think do you think this could be actually a successful profession for me? Would I be able to to
You
practice?
know, when I look at what profession you need something which is very people orientated. With Cancer Midheaven, you know, that's all about the intuition, that's all about caring for others, taking into account their emotional needs as well. It's like a mother archetype, right? So I'm going to be hugging people basically. And the ruler of your midheaven is actually Moon, which is in the 12th house in Virgo. So Virgo is all about service industry, serving other people's needs. 12th house is something to do with working with the mind or working with spiritual matters. So I think becoming a therapist and that spiritual retreat, what you were talking about, is actually very suitable. And because your moon conjunct Mercury, which is a talking planet, that's something to do with, you know, communication. I kind of believe that, yeah, this could be actually a very, very good one for you, yes.
Do you think I will be, because I am quite, it's been a very difficult, when I was working on ships, I was earning quite a lot of money. And I don't really, I'm not, the reason being is I'm asking you not because I really love money. I see them as a, I don't see them as a goal. I see them as an ends to a mean, you know. But it's been very difficult ever since I came to UK. I think ever since my daughter was born, actually, I kind of went from all these glamorous and I was earning good money, but ever since my daughter was born in 2006, kind of really crashed, everything crashed. And because my things with my husband weren't going well. So,
well, you know, I recommend thinking about working with people who have got addictions, for instance.
yeah.
That could be a smart idea.
Mm-hmm.
It could be actually talking about some type of research, clinical research type of things as well, which we can make money from. It could be something around behavior analysis.
I like that very much.
Which could be working very well. It could be about karmic experiences, so how to go back into previous lifetimes, looking at blockages there, how to kind of fight those inner demons and so forth. Or it might be just about how to lose weight. It could be actually hypnotherapy, which you might want to consider once you got there and you've done your bits and bobs. And I think because actually your study planet and your profession planet is wedged between your financial planet, I think actually you can make money out of this too. But eventually the secret here, in my opinion, is going to be, yes, those type of retreats where we're going to help you to improve your personality, or we're going to help you to put down the smoking, or we're going to help you to, you know, organize your food intake.
I want to work with self-awareness. This is something that comes to me, came to me few months, like a month ago. Really strong inclination to work with, to make workshops with self-awareness. And
Self-awareness, yeah, something around the body, how to use your body, how to harmonize your body. Those actually can be, yeah, that could be actually very, very suitable for you.
Do you think I should take it out on a channel like you do? Like, do you think I should spread the word?
Your midheaven is in Cancer, but it falls into Leo territory. So eventually that midheaven wants to be publicly recognized, but by working in the background. So typically something like, yeah, like I do, I go on camera, but you know, I work remotely for myself at home, right? But I put information out there. So something like that I can actually imagine, yes.
Yes. So do you think eventually I will be able to succeed, because I have Saturn in the 8th house. So even though my partner is very wealthy, I don't think I'm not going to be ever supported by a partner, I think, financially. So I think I have to make my own money. So do you think I will eventually be able to, are my financial planets afflicted?
all your financial planets are, I mean, you've got Jupiter and Venus in the second, so that's good.
With
Even though
Neptune.
they are not strong, but planets in not in a strong position, just sometimes it's very good for learning to work under pressure. On one hand, those two planets actually sextiling your career planets, especially Venus, which is, by the way, your partner's money. So actually, I do believe that your partner would help you on your career journey. Not necessarily the way that, yeah, here is $10,000 and then spend it on clothing, but I can imagine something like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna buy you this business and then you're gonna be running that and then you're gonna give the money back to me as soon as, you know, you can. Saturn in the 8th house, which is, you know, a responsible person, it commits to something, but eventually it's gonna want it back as well. So if I think you can create such a partnership with any of your loved ones. But the key there, not to lose trust, is to try to give the money back as well. Because your Saturn and Venus, which is your partner's money, are opposing each other. So Saturn actually rules the business here, your business, and Venus is the partner's money. So, you know, that could be an indication that eventually the partner would take it to heart if you didn't make it successful, or you wouldn't honor it back, or stuff like that. So from a karmic perspective, I feel like, yeah, you can accept the money if it comes up, but eventually you're going to have to honor that, give it back somehow, to kind of have that cosmic balance between the two of you.
Yeah.
Because you've got such a strong 12th house. I mean, those are karmic debts. You know, you are here to pay for plenty of your past life stuff. Either you made a mistake or people made mistakes with you, but that's the house of suffering, no matter what. So Libra rising sign is here to kind of balance these things out nicely. So, you know, if I get something, I kind of have to give it back as well to maintain the universal flow. And that's kind of, you know, and plus your sun around the rising sign is very much talking about that this soul wants to be shining.
Yes.
You know, that sun came here to suddenly have a breakthrough and then suddenly being recognized for maybe consultancy, Libra, or being recognized for my beauty, right? Or being recognized for my own talent.
Yeah, but is that a given, or I just want to shine, but I'm not really given?
That's given. That's given there.
I have to shine. Yeah, I think I shine on the stage. You know, I was thriving. You know, I was shining.
Yeah, that son wants to be on a world stage, but he wants to be in a world stage with someone else.
Yeah.
So with a partner, because Libra is a relationship sign, right? It doesn't mean that with my husband, or, you know, it can be a girlfriend, it can be just a business partner, it can be actually more people, because Sun and Uranus are conjuncting. So it can be that I become a leader with someone else of a community.
Right.
And then I create these followers for me. And Sun rules the 11th house, which is again the community. So I feel like it's building a community which is based on emotional intelligence and emotional well-being.
That's why that's a very big passion of mine, to work about emotional intelligence, especially in kids. That's a very big passion of mine. Emotional intelligence is, that's why I want to work on self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and spread the word, you know, in all means, whether it's blogging or just YouTube, or just going on retreats and make the retreats for making people. This is like something very important for me. I'm very drawn to it.
Yeah. And I think that's actually it could be a good choice for you.
Thank you. The last thing I wanted to ask you is apparently there is a conjunction between Saturn and Moon in, I think it's in May 23. And I was wondering, this is something that is quite scary for me because Saturn conjunction Moon often indicates depression, and I really don't want to go back there.
Your Saturn and Moon are not going to be in conjunction for a very long time.
No?
There's going to be an opposition, yeah.
It's an opposition, okay.
Yeah.
So
there's going to be an opposition between Saturn and Moon. No, I don't necessarily believe. I mean, it could bring depression, surely. But another possibility here is somehow how I am balancing out my private life with my professional life. Because Saturn rules your 4th house, Moon rules your 10th house. So, or if you have got your parents still around.
I don't have them.
You don't have them. That could have been talking about the parents as well. In that case, that talks about my private life versus my work life. So maybe you're gonna feel a little bit that I'm getting stuck. You know, everything is just a little bit delayed. I need to be a lot more patient and so forth. Success is not coming as quick as I expected. Those are possible, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm really worried about that time because I spoke with astrologer and she's a Vedic astrologer, but
you're gonna have to also watch out for your lifestyle around that time, because Virgo Moon is typically about the body, right? And Saturn comes around and it might want you to lose weight, it might want you to go to the gym, it might want you to cut out certain things of your life, giving up on smoking, giving up on drinking Coke, giving up on eating meat.
I've given up all this for long.
Something, you know, something to give up on in our lifestyle. Maybe it's just the fact that, okay, I'm not gonna eat more sugar, right? Or I'm gonna become vegetarian. That's also very possible.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily just the depression part. It could really talk about, yeah, just changing my lifestyle, which I'm gonna have. But typically Saturn going into the 6th house is transforming the body as well, just to create a better health. And when we are not following through our, you know, like when we are not watching our lifestyle, because the 6th house is very much about, you know, fair enough, we work hard, but we also need to have fun as well. So that Saturn comes up there as a reminder that we need to have a balance, not just working and studying 24/7, but also doing something which I find pleasurable as well.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Depression is just one of the manifestations. You choose which one you want to be working with. And I kind of tell you that you need to be working more on the lifestyle, right?
Okay.
So I'm going to be, I don't know, I don't need Saturn, like for instance, the salt. I'm going to be watching out for my salt intake. I'm going to cut back on the salt.
Salt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, because you might read an article, it's Pisces, right? So which is, again, very medical conscious. I might read an article that, okay, you know, salt is not good for the body.
I eat a lot of salt, that's true.
So
I live quite healthy. I mean, I exercise 5 times a week and trying to, and, you know, stop drinking caffeine. You know, I'm not vegetarian, but I'm very keen on to become one. So God
that's
knows.
also very possible, as I said, in all that work, but I decide eventually, okay, you know what, I want to cut back on meat. Also, you know, have you gone through your changeover period yet?
You mean menopause?
Yeah.
Well, I still have my period, so not yet. It might be possible that it's starting.
So that Saturn Moon most possibly talking about that too.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. That's incredible.
So, you know, and that's why my lifestyle is changing, because, you know, the mid-age crisis type of thing kicks in. And yeah, we can worry about that too much. And then let's see how, you know, you need to prepare yourself for that, that eventually it's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I just don't know whether it's a good thing to start hormone therapy, HRT, or not.
Why would you do that?
Well, if I start, because it's sometimes there is a lot of hot flashes, there is depression, there is fatigue. So if I have to work, and then I'm going to be finishing school, I need to be alert. So if all these things come, and I'm, you know, have to deal also with my daughter because I'm a single parent, I will be overwhelmed, completely overwhelmed, if I have to deal with my health as well. So.
You know, in my opinion, if you will be ready for you know, all these changes, I don't think you will need hormone therapy and stuff like that.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I don't want to take up your time. I hope you find Bulgaria good for living.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Not too bad.
Not too
Okay.
bad.
All right. All right.
All right. Take
I
care
really
of
appreciate it.
yourself.
I think we will meet again. But I really appreciate your help. And
Thank
I'll
you
keep
very much.
following you on YouTube. I really appreciate your videos too.
Thank you. Take care of yourself, and I'll wish you all the best.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.